Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and you can see I have got my machine all torn to pieces, and what's happening is I'm actually taking all of the basically all the guts of this machine apart, and I'm transferring it into another frame. This machine is my backup machine to my main machine, which is this is the machine I've been using for the last few years, and I need to order some parts for the handle release. It's starting to have an issue, so I've got to order parts in for that, so that's why that one's pulled aside. I pulled this one out. This was parked, well, actually a few years ago when I put the green machine on the road, when I did a rebuild on that one. And this machine had been used for a few years, and it was working fine, but it did have an issue that was going on that I resolved since. But what was happening is that this is a center feed machine. The motor sits right here. There's where the motor shaft sits, goes down inside, and there's a belt that goes around in here. And this is where the center feed is, into the center of the hub. The hub is actually sitting right here. And the drive pad, or drive block, hooks onto the bottom of that. And what was happening is three reasons why. One was because I was using microfiber pads at the time. Two, the cleaner I was using was more of a foamy cleaner. And what was the third? Oh, I know. Also, I hadn't yet started to use my deflector, which I use now all the time for this machine. And what was happening is that moisture was actually coming back up into the bottom of the hub here. And there's two bearings that go inside there, and the bearings would get wet over time. And what happens, of course, the bearings get wet, and eventually they'll start to have issues, and they'll lose their grease, and then they get noisy and everything. So this was starting to make noise. I had I pulled it out and was using it, and I realized within a week or so that the bearings were actually in need of being replaced. So I was hoping to not have to do that right away, but fortunately I do have three functioning MD180s. That's what this is. And the third one, which has been my new one I've never used, is now sitting in the van. And in the meantime, I'm going to take all the guts of this. Now that I've got this thing already, I pulled the main part off, which is the hub. That has given me the justification for doing my ultimate maneuver, which involves the frame that's sitting right over there. So what's going to happen is that all the parts that are on here are going to go over to the frame that's sitting over there, and then I'll do a little video showing you how that turns out. So that's a machine. That's a cast aluminum frame for this machine that is all powder coated, but a different color. So I'll show you that when I get it finished. So that's what I'm doing today. It's not really hard to do. The hardest part was actually getting the hub off over there. But now that I've got that off, it's just a matter of undoing a bunch of screws and things, and everything just comes and pulls out, and then I'll just transfer it over to the other frame and put it all back together. And I've got to pick up a couple of bearings this week and put the bearings in place into the main hub, and then it'll be back good as new for another few years. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.